So here we go. This is Richard's crossover tube. The bolts were completely gone. So whatever the deal was, we did, if you look at this one was also, oh, look at my finger all messed up. That's not fingernail paint, I promise. They, see, it was all, who knows? I don't know what that was about. But we went ahead and put an insert in it. There you go. All right, it goes through a thick bracket, like show that, I guess it goes through a thick bracket. Who knows what happened? I mean, these bolts, the bolts were missing, they were gone. The studs coming out of the valve cover are good. Very rarely does this have to be done. Right there. Okay, we got little chips in it. Now that doesn't even seal anything right there. That doesn't seal anything. It seals down here where the ridge is, but here, let's show you how we do that. Okay, well, I guess the first thing you gotta do is throw your grom down on the floor like that, I guess. That's number one. This little guy right here. Yeah, just throw a little slide hammer on it with this cone flange. This kit, yeah, this kit, you can use this on all kinds of stuff. All these freaking parts, I get all confused on what the heck I'm even using. So, should be able to figure it out. I mean, it'd be better to put this on right. I put it on wrong. It's my first day. It is a pain in the butt to put this thing together every single time. One would think I could just throw it in the toolbox and have it together, but that, I mean, I like having it nice and clean. Look, it looks like a brand new tool, doesn't it? It's really not, it's really old. But we just get it out every time and set it up, because sometimes I might want these on the other way. Sometimes they need to grab different. I mean, so take it all the way apart every single time and it'll make them real tight. Then we'll thread this little guy on. Like this, you see that cone inside of there? Now let me get this on. Might be a little clumsy. Is it through there yet? Yeah. All right, now we can take this guy, see this, thread that down. Thread that on there. Okay, right there, just like that. Now, take this. Now, we'll take it away so it can get smaller, much smaller, put it in. Oh, knocking stuff over. And we'll spin this bar down so that it, whatever. It's kind of tricky to get set up, but just wiggle it around and let it rest. All right, just like that. It's on the ridge. Now, one thing we gotta hope is that we do not scratch, so we wanna back it off just a little bit. We don't wanna scratch the sides of the housing, even though it will never leak from the side of the housing. The crush, I guess it could, but hardly ever. It's gonna leak from the rubber. So then we'll just see it coming out. Pretty low tech stuff here. Hang on just a little bit more. This now's when, don't get carried away. Relax. Look, I've almost got it out. It's almost done. So sit back, relax, and there you go. Let's see if I scratched it. I did a little bit at the very end, but not where it seals at. That's where I was originally setting it up. You scratch it, I scratched it in there. Yeah, my fault, I messed up. But here's, just like that. Get your jaw puller set up so that you can pull it backwards, just like that. Kind of like a bearing race, however you would do any of that. But that's how I take them out, and I put them back in. It's not right, and just tap it in, it'll be fine. Just make sure you pay attention when you put it in there. You don't need some special high dollar deal, but you do need a special this. You'll definitely tear it all up if you try to do it without something like this. I've tried it, been there, done that. Now tapping it in, yeah, no, just go for it.
I don't want to be in the video. I have to be in them.
She's already in it. A whole bunch of parts to it. Maybe they didn't get tightened, I don't know. I mean, okay, I've never had an issue with these things coming apart. Bolts coming out. The ones that actually fell out, yeah, we're gonna Loctite those. Dead blow, guys, right here. Dead blow. Get it on. It'll go on. Tap it on, we got new seals on it. Now we're gonna hope that we can prime it. Well, we're gonna hope that it primes. on the corners have those bigger 10 millimeter nuts that have the big shoulder on it. So we got the EVP wire back here. So tighten the EVP wire, just keep the Milwaukee down there and you can hit them all. This doesn't have to be ridiculously tight. I mean, tight enough that don't freaking fall off though. But these bolts were on, these bolts were good. It was those ones at the bottom that connect the crossover tube to the actual bracket. So let's just get rid of that issue right now. Okay. All right, so we're gonna fuel it. We hook these up. I don't know if we're flushing power steering fluid. Kind of looks like, it looks a little red to me, but yeah, it'll be all right. Never mind. This is a farm truck. So I'll squeeze them off and on and watch them. You know, let the fuel run a little bit. Let this one go, mimic opening and closing them. See if we can get some bubbles out, because once I pinch both of them by hand, then the fuel is just running like normal. It's running through, and I can open it up and pop a key off on it. Now, we could go down and hook up our wire on the bottom to make the fuel pump run. Really? See all that I'm getting out? I got the left one pinched. I got the left one pinched, and but then I can pinch that one and let it run through a little bit, and then pull this one and off and on. I try to plug it when it shuts it off. There we go. Now what we're hoping, since it died right after the crossover tube came off, so we're hoping that it lost prime somehow. I have to look for leaks. It looks pretty good right now. See, I got this one pinched. This one is closed right now. Yep. We just got it running down into a 5-gallon diesel can. Okay, shut it off. Okay, now here we'll take off the back one. I'll take one of them off. Now we'll set it to 28. New crush washer. Now we'll kick it on with this one. Okay, I'm gonna hold the hose a little bit, let it run, and then pull it. Y'all haven't thought about squeezing the hose, have you? Cycle through so the fuel will get past it. And of course, one would argue it would let air pass by the filter. But the goal is to, all right, off and on. It's tricky to prime a 6.4. It's tricky. It's not far-fetched that this got hauled all the way up here from Arkansas just to prime the fuel. Let's hope so. I hope we didn't lose a pump. If we did, it's going to be ridiculous because, yeah, pump go out at the same time that those bolts were gone and the crossover tube blew off. Off and on. I didn't see the VGT actuator move. Shut it back off. Now, kick it on. There you go. Okay. All right. All right, we're good. We're going to put this back. 28 foot-pounds on this one with new crush washers. It's still got a long crank. Fuel pump's commanded on right now. Let it run a little bit. Let's see what we see. Started to build higher. Hang on, let the fuel pump run. We're hoping this ain't a pump. Ready? Hold up. Hold on. I'm hoping maybe there's a lot of air in it. What he might have done, Richard, did you take off the fuel cooler? I wonder if he took it off. Oh, that'd be cool, because that would be why it wouldn't start. Because we have to prime it like that. It's still pumping fuel right now, so we're at 91 pounds in the fuel rail. We got 91 pounds in the fuel rail right there. 100. Once it gets primed, it'll bang it right off. 200. Come on. Okay, 270. Oh, it sure did go down pretty quick. Let's... One more time. Probably 2 more times. Oh, it's only getting 20. I'm gonna go a little further. 55, 80, 90, 120. Come on. 200, 230. Gotta go all the way to 530,000. Once it pops and gets the air out. 600, 700, 800, 900. I'm gonna burn the starter up. 1100. That's taking way too long. 1200, 13, 14. Come on. You're not gonna do it. It should just. Wow. All right, so after cranking the crap out of it, it's building 1,400 pounds is the most we got out of it. We bled, and now we got 4 pounds coming out of here. That should be 6 at the most, 6 pounds at the most. So we got low pressure fuel, building 1,400 pounds. What a freaking drag. So right now it's looking like whether or not the pump went. You wanna try it again? Let's watch it while it's cranking, see if it drops down. It ain't gonna matter, but go for it. That's a bummer. So I guess got to take it off and go back down to the pump. But now it's building pressure. It's not an air pocket because it builds up continuously, very slow, all the way to 1,400 pounds. And then I haven't decided to crank it longer after 1,400 pounds because it takes a long time. Damn. We gotta do a pump. That's it. This did roll to a start. It was rolling to a start before that happened. So, I mean, that is, I've had that on a couple other ones too. Kind of like a bad 03 high pressure pump, or even late model, but normally it's 03, 04 high pressure pump. So with that rolling to a start, what it started doing before all that messed up, I mean, that's the beginning of the end, obviously. And now we have found the end. So now we gotta get the cover off, get the turbos off, and put a freaking pump in it. See all those flakes? They're everywhere. Now that is not, you can take apart a new pump. That right there could justify changing a pump, I guess. But I have pulled samples that look just like that out of good and bad pumps. So condemning it because of that, okay, let's say this. Condemning a pump that pulls fuel out of it that looks like that is pumping pressure, I would not change. If it's only building 20 pounds in the first 10 seconds and then maximum 1,400 pounds, that's a drag. That was out of the fuel cooler. This was when we dumped the whole crossover tube upside down into this drain pan. So all that stuff was in it. So I guess the bolts coming loose off of the crossover tube was just a end of the day, and probably maybe the bolts came off and it put that pump at its last leg, maybe because maybe it kinked the line for a quick second, but it should be able to take that by far. But it rolling to a start, and now we got metal in it, only building low pounds. Dang it. So we tore it apart and we put exhaust on it, up pipes, manifolds to turbo exhaust, and somehow the bolts came out because I was having Darien clean. I mean, I would call it detailed. The crossover tube, I've got it in a lot of videos. Maybe I'll find another one if I take time to edit this in the future. I've been having him detail these, and I was actually proud. I mean, I was proud of them. I made videos of them. I took pictures of them because when he got done with them, we disassembled every single component of it, polished all of it, and put it all back together. They were works of art. They were beautiful. And now we have, Darian's not here, right? He's gone. There's more to talk about that when it comes to flat rate versus hourly. Okay, he was hourly. Everybody here is hourly. That's because I want them to take more time. I don't want them to hurry. I don't know what happened with the bolts. The bolts that hold the entire crossover tube to the mounting bracket to the valve cover were gone, and one thread was destroyed. So what we've got going now is, before this happened, the truck was rolling to a start. So that spells almost the beginning of the end for the pump. Okay, so when this crossover tube left, did it starve the pump at all? How can we be that unlucky that the pump went at the same time those bolts let the crossover tube blow off? Fact of the matter is, the bolts came out and the pump is bad. And then I think, God dang, I mean, we was just in this. We didn't take the pump physically out of the truck, but we put, this plane's flying. We're gonna get one day, hang on. Okay, we didn't take the pump off. You can put the undercover harness on. You just take the pump cover off and the undercover harness on and put zip ties all on it and then button it back up. Then you got to put the fuel lines to it. I mean, that if a fuel pump is starved for fuel, it is not good for it, right? So did this coming off starve it for fuel? But it coming off, if it would have, no, I mean, what? There's no way. I mean, it was at a degrading point on the pump anyways. That I'm sure it got starved at this point, but no more than it gets starved during a fuel filter change or, you know, during an injector install or anything like that. I mean, as long as you prime it, you know, but the rolling to a start is a tough one. And there's another plane, see? That's Tanner chasing me. I already took off earlier. Tanner's leaving. We're going to Alaska for the weekend. 6 4-cylinder heads are not that hard to get off. I did one in the parking lot, right here, remember that? I mean, it was on okay, I didn't sell the job, so all I wanted was cylinder head off the truck. It was one of our trucks. $20,000 coin flip truck. Just took it off, took minutes. I mean, it'd be a heck of a lot longer, you know, for a job to make it look good, but it's doable. We don't have to cab off it. Because James really needs to be right there. James is next. But we could stud it in chassis. Stud it, put some lifters on it. The weight that you pull don't break the truck. The tuning and the skinny pedal on the right is what breaks the truck.